Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to. Whoops. Hold on. Much better. So I was poking around the World of Warships website uh, this morning and I spotted a new ship. Oh, no, it's not the Iowa. It is an Italian ship. Doesn't quite fight like anything I've seen before. The Giulio Cesare. And there she is. You can see that appearance wise, she is small compared to other battleships. She looks more like a really heavily armored cruiser. And maybe that will work in your favor. The enemy that you go up against might see her and think, it's just a heavy cruiser, I got bigger problems. But once they get a taste of what this ship can do, they'll think twice. She's actually quite powerful for a Tier 5 battleship. Good looking ship too. So let's take a look at the armor layout. And you can see right away that she's got a lot of armor all the way around. Let's take a look at the citadel. And you can see it's well placed, low, and it looks to be fairly well protected, but the truth is that there's not a lot of armor. Or at least the thickness of the armor isn't much. Her armor varies from 6 to 280 millimeters, and all the other Tier 5 warships, they go up to 305 or 356. The ARP Congo is worse, but not by much. But the armor tends to go all the way around this ship. So what that means is if you are nose on or tail on to an enemy, you're going to do a good job of bouncing shells. But don't get broadside onto a powerful enemy or you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt fast. Stay angled. On top of our citadel, we've got the armor belts, of course. More armor and the decks. More decking. The superstructure. It's a lot of armor, it's just not thick. The guns are fairly well armored. But not a lot compared to other ships. Survivability, 45,500 hit points, which puts her pretty much in the middle of the pack. Not as much as other ships, but more than others. I'm going to be comparing her against all other Tier 5 battleships, or at least a bunch of others. Notice her torpedo protection damage reduction is 19%, which actually it's not that bad. There are other ships that are a lot better, but there are other ships that are worse. But you really don't have to worry too much about torpedoes if you're driving this ship. And it's not necessarily because of the armor. You'll see here in a minute. This ship, just bought it this morning, and I'm going to get her outfitted. I'm going to take her out for her very first battle. Let's take a look at her artillery. Main guns. She has quite a few of them. She has got, wow, 320 millimeter guns. That's not very big, but she's got an ace up her sleeve. Look at that reload time on those guns. 36 seconds. No other battleship at Tier 5 even comes close to that reload time. Everybody else is 54, 55, 60 seconds. Heck, the Iron Duke is 72 seconds. So this ship is a lot of fun because you get to do a lot of shooting. Not salvo out, then twiddle your thumbs for an entire minute. You can have a lot of fun with this ship. Her high explosive shell damage only does 4,800, but look at that below it. 35% chance of setting fire to a target. That's really, really good. Not too many ships get that high. I think the Iron Duke has 40% chance, but nobody else has 35. No. So what this means is if you've got an enemy ship coming nose on or going away tail on, send over a salvo of high explosive and start a fire. Make them burn their fire extinguishing resource. I think it's called damage repair ability. And once they put that fire out, you start another fire, they can't put it out. They gotta let it burn. And it's gonna take a while for them to get that fire out. So that's a great strategy that this ship has. Great ability. Unbelievable rate of fire. You're gonna have fun if you like shooting. Our secondary armaments, you've got 100 millimeter and 120 millimeter. You've got 20 of those secondary guns. That's quite a lot. Other ships really run the gamut when you compare them to the other Tier 5 battleships. You've got some with 88 millimeter secondaries. You've got some with 152 millimeter secondaries. All in all, the secondaries on this ship put her pretty much in the middle of the pack where secondary armaments are concerned. Now her range is 16.4 kilometers on her main guns, which really isn't that good. The battleships have much better range, so you're going to have to push in a little close to use these guns, but you've got another ace up your sleeve. The dispersion at max range is only 226 meters, so this thing is very accurate. A few ships can beat it, but not by much. And once you get in closer, say 12 kilometers, this ship is going to be just laser accurate, which again makes her an awful lot of fun to play. Her AA defense on this is not bad. You can see it's rated at a 35, and that's actually second best for her tier. The Texas is better, but the Texas is an oddball with an AA rating of 50. No, that's just nuts. Nobody flies near a Texas. But insofar as everybody else goes, 35 is really good. The Iron Duke is 27, the New York is 17, the Congo is 34, and the Koenig is just a miserable 9. So a rating of 35 on the AA is pretty darn good. And you really come to appreciate anti-aircraft. Now this is where things get real interesting. The strength of this ship, remember she's a small ship and she goes real fast, 27 knots. Look at that rudder shift, 13 seconds. Honestly, that's really, really good. I think there's only one other ship that can come close. So this ship is maneuverable, very maneuverable, and turning circle of 640 meters is pretty good. Puts her in the middle of the pack. The Congos are just horrible at 770 meters, and the New York and the Texas are a little bit better at 600 meters. So she's firmly in the middle of the pack. But that rudder shift is really good. What this means is if you've got enemy torpedoes coming your way, slam on the brakes, hit that rudder, or just plain hit the rudder, and you're going to dodge those torpedoes. Not too many battleships can do that. This is also an ace up your sleeve. This is probably the stealthiest ship you're gonna find. Yeah. Well, no, the Russian ship, the Tyrabkovsky Revolution, whatever, is very close at 13.7 kilometers detectability range, but all the other Tier 5 battleships are 14, 15, and 16 or more. So this is a very stealthy ship. I guess that's just because it's so small and has a low profile. But you can use that to your advantage to sneak in, and just realize that once you fire your guns, your detectability range goes back out to 16.4 kilometers. Even though if you're being stealthy, you're only detectable by sea at 13.3 and at air 9.4, which is pretty good. So use that detectability, use that rudder, and use those guns. And this is a fun little ship. I can't wait to take her out. So let's go take a look at the exterior. It came with permanent camouflage. I don't want to really take that off. I suppose I could. And that's not a bad camo. Negative 3% to detectability range by sea, 4% maximum dispersion of enemy shells fired at you, and a little more experience in the battle. That's nice. Now, a lot of ships you can upgrade the engines, you can upgrade the firing radar, you can upgrade the hull, or you can upgrade the guns. Not on this ship. There are modifications you can do that will tweak the performance, but this ship comes without the ability to change out the engines, or change out the gun control radar, or change out the hull, or change out the guns. That's pretty much the way it is on any premium ship, and this is a premium ship. But there are some minor tweaks that you can do. So let's get into those. First slot, you'd have Main Armaments Modification 1, which you can see the numbers there, see what it does. If you've played World of Warships for any length of time, you know all about those. Auxiliary armaments, which helps out the secondaries and AA, and of course Magazine Mod 1, which is best suited for thinly skinned cruisers and destroyers. So I go for Auxiliary Armaments 1. That's just the way I wanted to handle it. You set up this ship the way you think it should be set up, not the way I do it, because everybody's playstyle is a little different. I really appreciate strong AA and strong secondaries, because I tend to push in. Although on this first battle, you're going to see I'm a little passive on it. I'm still learning how to play this ship, especially since it's my first battle. Second slot, Main Battery Mod 2. Now I don't want to slow down my rate of gunfire, and I've already upgraded my AAs, and I've already upgraded the secondaries. This is one that I decide I want, because it increases the accuracy of your gunfire, and it was already accurate to begin with, so that's cool. And as just a bonus, you get a little bit of a boost to your secondaries. So that's the one I went with. In the third slot, this is a no-brainer. Damage control system, propulsion mod, or steering mod. You're in a pretty heavily armored ship, it's a battleship. The only way you're going to lose propulsion or steering gears is if you take a torpedo to the rudder or to the propeller. Propeller. So damage control is the way I go. Alright, so just about ready to go here. Let's see what flags I can run. Let's see what upgrades I can give my captain skills. Oh, I have no points, so I cannot select any additional captain skills. Maybe later. Alright, let's see what performance flags, just to tweak my numbers at the end of battle here. Well, I gave it Juliet Yankee to reduce the time that it takes to recover from torpedo damage and flooding. Turns out I didn't need it, and I should have figured that one out, because the ship is so maneuverable and so quick to change course that I didn't need it. I can dodge torpedoes. That's one that any big ship needs, because you will be set on fire, especially if you're broadside to anybody on this ship. You're gonna get hurt. AA, I've already boosted my AA, but hey, I've got 25 of those flags. Why not? I've already boosted the secondaries twice, so I'll pass on that. This is always a good one. If you have HP recovery on your battleships, and some British cruisers have them, this is a good flag to have. Gives you an additional 20% hit points. Let's see what else. Why not? A few extra knots can't hurt. And I want to get my captain some points. Let's see, which one? No. There it is. 333% to Commander XP. Alright. So we are set. Oh, one more flag. One more flag. That's the only one that does a little bit for you. Everything else is just cosmetic. Alright, so now we're set. Now we're set. Cool. Alright, first battle ever. Let's see what this thing can do. I will be zipping ahead at a couple of places in the video. It's a battleship, more or less, so it's a slow replay. So you can see where we spawned. I'm going to take a course due south, and then before I get to those islands on the D line, I'm going to brake hard to the east. That way I've got islands to protect me if I come under battleship fire. If I went west, I'd have a hard time getting shells out because it's pretty tightly packed in there. Alright, so the enemy aircraft carrier is sending torpedo bombers after other people. That's good. And we've got an enemy battleship who's going at me. I've got high explosive loaded. That's the right one to have. And I'm going to try and duck behind this island. I don't want to take on a battleship. Unfortunately, I have to turn broadside to do it. But you can see with the rudder being as strong as it is, that I can dodge a lot of these shots. Alright, so I put him on fire, I think, and then he put it out. I'm on that rudder. Ouch, I felt it. Okay, so I did start a fire. Oh, he's going to be hurting pretty quick. I got a cruiser sneaking in on me on the left. $3,100 damage. So now I am basically stern on to this battleship. He's burning. cruiser's got a little bit of time before he can get me. This guy's not pointing at me anymore. Cool. Now I can go ahead and bring the ship around. Get all my guns to bear. Oh, hey, I destroyed him. That's what the fire did. Right on. Well, I've loaded armor piercing, which is good for the ship that I'm about to engage. Oh boy, he's gonna come around that corner and I'm gonna have some bad news for him. Yeah, he's broadside. Basically took my time. And in just 2 seconds you could see what his health bar went from basically full health to dead. So I'll go ahead and line up another shot, but somebody's going to get him before I do. Heck, only a destroyer can take him out. Yep, he's gone. Alright, so now let's see what this ship can do for torpedo bombers. Now, the enemy ship that just went down was a Fiji. I bet you he fired torpedoes at me.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Yeah, he did. No problem to dodge those. Now here come more torpedoes. Look at how this ship turns. I actually got off of the rudder just a bit there for a minute. Otherwise my bow might have clipped that torpedo. Isn't that awesome how that ship can turn? Now that ship I was shooting at, I'm going to look away, but he did get a salvo off at me and he's about to hit me. Took out one of my guns. Shot down one enemy dive bomber. Alright, so I still got armor piercing loaded. This guy is broadside. Couldn't ask for it any better. Look at that accuracy. He's at 12.4 kilometers. And that was actually an over penetration. With the 320 millimeter gun, I over penetrated. I should have used high explosive. I'm gonna try shooting over this thing. Through the trees. And I hit him. Oh, that one didn't. But I did land another over penetration. You can see I'm kind of hanging back. I'm not really pushing in very hard. The ship has got the range for it.
Our victory is in sight.
As long as the enemy pushes in. If the enemy doesn't push in, we're hosed. We have to go out and get them. Alright, so where does that leave us? If you take a look out west, you'll see one enemy around DE1, and we've got 4 or 5 friendly ships going after him. So there's no reason for me to go down there. Then we've got one lonely Atlanta way down here at F9. And the enemy carrier is throwing everything he has at him. So I'm going to push south, try to help out that Atlanta, because he might not survive. Zipping ahead in the video. Alright, so the enemy carrier has decided to send his torpedo bombers after me. So I set those as a priority target, and I can see which direction the attack is coming from, so turn in. Look at this ship turn. That torpedo wasn't even close. Now he's sending in dive bombers. Our friendly Atlanta is still alive. He's charging in. So I'm going to have to press control and put my mouse and click, set him a priority target. Let's see what my AA can do. That was cool. Thought he was going to kamikaze me. If any of you have a replay clip of getting kamikaze, post it and let me know in the comment section. There's the enemy carrier. The battle's pretty much over. You can see shots coming in from 3 directions, including the Atlanta. The Atlanta is a flamethrower where her guns are concerned. An eggshell for armor, but a flamethrower for guns. Look at that. That carrier's history. But once again, 36-second reload on my guns. Most other Tier 5 battleships are a minute. He's gone. So you can see that the Giulio Caesar does not play like a typical battleship. You can probably push in a little harder than I did. Came in the middle of the pack. She's small for a battleship, but she's very quick and has a great reload time on her guns. Great reload time. And great turret rotation. So all in all, I'm really happy with this purchase. Oh yeah. I'm going to be holding on to this one. Won't be getting rid of it anytime soon. Who hurt me? Who hurt me? The Scharnhorst. That's the Tier 7, that's why. And got my point. Almost got 2. Right on. Anyway, that is it. That is the Giulio Caesar. Quite a fun ship, and I'm really glad I picked her up. Anyway, thank you for watching. Stay safe and have fun.